Okay, welcome everybody to Norwich City Council Licensing Subcommittee. It's Wednesday, the 20th of March 2024, and we have a licensing subcommittee for the application of grant of a premises licence for food by CPC 290 to 304 Elsham Road. My name is Ian Studley, I'm your chair today, and with me I have Councillor Kevin Maguire and Councillor Caroline Ackroyd, who are the councillors on the panel. I also have Florence Clement Harry from MP Law, who is providing our legal advice today. We have Leonie, who is helping us with tech, and our committee officer, and also Maxine Fuller, who is the licensing officer, who will ask members of the public and the applicants to introduce themselves as we go. Okay, so first of all, Maxine, we've got apologies. No apologies, thank you. Declarations of interest, and I can see none. So that brings us to item number 3, which is the licence, and we'll ask Maxine, please, to introduce the report.
Members are asked in accordance with the delegation of licensing functions contained in the Norwich City Council Statement of Licensing Policy, Licensing Act 2003, to consider the application for the grant of a premises licence in respect of food by CPC 290 to 304 Elsham Road, Norwich, NR3 2RJ, following receipt of relevant representation. We have received an email from the applicant that has confirmed that the correct number for the address is 298 to 304 Elsham Road. It is recommended that members determine the application to grant the premises licence in accordance with the Licensing Act 2003 and subsequent regulations. Guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003 and the Norwich City Council Statement of Licensing Policy. The applicant is Food by CPC Limited, and the proposed DPS is Gilbert Eugene. The application seeks to allow the licence for activities, times and opening hours as set out in the application form, which is attached to Appendix A. This also includes the steps proposed to promote the licensing objectives, which is the operating schedule. Regarding relevant representations, we received representation from the police, but the applicant has agreed to their conditions, and a copy of this is attached to Appendix B. The other representation we received was from 5 local residents, and copies of these are attached to Appendix C. In determining the application with a view to promoting the licensing objectives, the subcommittee must give appropriate weight to the steps that are appropriate to promote the licensing objectives, that is to say, the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. The representations, including supporting information presented by all the parties, the guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003 National Guidance, and the Council's own Statement of Licensing Policy. The subcommittee must take such of the following steps as it considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. Grant the application as passed, modify the conditions of the licence by altering or omitting or adding to them, reject the whole or part of the application, refuse to accept the proposed DPS. The committee is asked to note that it may not modify the conditions or reject the whole or part of the application merely because it considers it desirable to do so. It must actually be appropriate in order to promote the licensing objectives. The representation received appears to relate to issues that fall under the licensing objectives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to ask the applicant now to address the committee. If you could tell us about your business, what is currently there, what is proposed to be there, and the reasons for your licence and how you will operate the licence, please. So can you just introduce yourself, please?
Good afternoon. I am Gilbert Eugene. I'm the owner of Food by CPC. First of all, I would like to make it clear that the premises license application applied only to the commercial unit 298 to 3 or 4 or Ocean. Then it's on the ground floor. The apartment 290 to 296 are not included in this application. That was a mistake at the beginning. I apologize for this mistake.
Okay, thank you very much.
We are a supermarket. We're not a bar. And we're not a club. We're not a restaurant. We sell alcohol to adults for it to be consumed in their house and not on our premises. This was already stated during a meeting on the 13th of February with Peter Sparrow and Michelle Barker. It was made clear then that our application was for an off license, not for a consumer to drink alcohol on our premises. Consequently, we do not provide any form of entertainment to our customer to try to have fun or a party. We just a supermarket selling food. We specialize in selling tropical exotic food. Concerning the management of our waste, we have a contract with the company name Waste Management. We specialize in clearing waste from commercial units. This is the company that will come several times a week to clear our bins. This said, we won't get any issue, any problem with our neighbor concerning the bin. In relation to the car park, we have...
Okay, just excuse me for a moment. I just need to make a clarification. Some of the objections that were put forward are actually not relevant to the licensing, this licensing committee. So a number of the objections that were put forward are outside of the remit of the committee. So it might be a good idea, because you appear to be addressing them one by one, it might be a good idea for us to just go through those now, so you can concentrate on those. So, for example, the car parking situation, the bins themselves are not within the remit of licensing. In addition, a number of the objections talked about the bear with me a moment. I was going to come to this a little bit later. So we had the illuminated signage, for example. That would be a... Thank you. The illuminated signage would be a planning matter. The extractor would be a planning matter. So items like that. So we are looking at items that are related only to the 4 licensing objectives and the license itself, rather than the fabric of the building, although the noise is an issue that we will come to. So if you'd like to continue and just stick to those licensing matters, again, I'll tell you if we're covering anything we need to cover in this meeting. Okay.
Thank you. I was saying, in relation to car park, we have our own private car park.
So just just to reiterate, we don't need to talk about the car parking in this meeting, so if you would mind just moving on to the next point, please.
Okay.
Can you describe to the committee how you intend to run how the licensing will work in your shop, what you intend to sell, and describe the hours that you want to sell it. So basically summarise the application you put forward, and then we cover some of the objections as we go. So the committee wants to know a little bit more about the shop that you run currently and how you wish to proceed with the licence. So if you could just address the committee on those items, please.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say something about the selling of alcohol. For more representative and secure system of selling alcohol, we have agreed with Michel Barker following the letter sent after our meeting on 13th that in the premises we will implement the following: the CCTV, the in operation, recording the main public areas of the shop. CCTV footage to be recorded for a minimum of 28 days and to be available to the police or collaborative authorities. Secondly, the challenge 25 policy to be in operation. And thirdly, the refusal incident record to be kept at the premises to record all incidents related to this orderly behavior and refusal of which restricted product. Then we have agreed to this on that day. And this is something we are doing in our two other shops, because we are running the shop here in Norwich and another shop in Great Yarmouth. And I would like to take those two shops as an example. I would like to draw your attention to our two other shops, the one in Great Yarmouth and the one here. The shop in Great Yarmouth is very similar to the one in Ocean, because this shop in Great Yarmouth has 12 apartments upstairs, 12 apartments. The 12 families live upstairs. And during our entire time there, we have had zero complaint with the tenant concerning the car park, or concerning the selling of alcohol, or concerning the waste management. Zero complaint. Same thing here in Norwich, and this we can check it with the police. We have had no complaint concerning the way we sell alcohol. That's why, based on those shop, we have an experience, a good experience on how to sell alcohol. It's the same way we're going to sell alcohol in all chambers. I'm so surprised. And then I have noticed that my opponent, objector, are very eager to object to our shop. I don't know why. Objections have come in long after, some objections have come long after the allocated time. Rather, you should be proud of football CPC, because football CPC is a very local business that started here in Anglian Square. And now we are expanding. And we should be proud to see this business expanding. And I'm here to make peace with my objector. I'm not there to disturb the conflict. We're just there to make a business. And making our business where we live is like a good opportunity for you, because we bring in life in this building. This unit have been abandoned for years. No one wanted that unit. Do you know why? I'm telling you why. When you enter this unit, you just wanted to get out. Why? Because everything was destroyed. Everything was destroyed there. And we take that risk to make it clear, to make it comfortable, and make it our business. What's the business for you? To leave that unit empty. Because an abandoned unit, it's a risky for you upstairs. Maybe you don't know that.
Okay, so I'll just stop you again because we're straying slightly away from the licensing objectives here. So thank you for that. I think that's given us quite a bit of overview, and your other shops are relevant. I noticed that the one in Anglia Square, your licensing, it closes at 7 p.m. daily and 5 p.m. on Sunday. Is that correct? Okay. So, and this application is for later opening time. Okay. So, can you just describe the time at which your shop is supposed to close, and the time that you'll be serving alcohol to, or selling alcohol in your shop, please?
We open at 8 and we close at 8. Why? Because this is we have looked around what time our competitor closed the shop. We have Lidl,
Yeah.
and we have some other shop. Then we wanted not to close earlier. In Anglian Square, we close early because all the shop around close at that time.
Yeah.
Then we want to adapt to serve our customer better. Then we have to adapt our business time. That's why we close at 8.
So the application that we've got is hours open to the public. Monday to Saturday is 8 till 10 o'clock, 2200 hours. And the Sunday 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, 1500 hours. Is that correct?
Yes, this is correct. But this business time will apply on the busiest time of the year. That means like December for Christmas, for the end of the year. Then we will close at 10. But in day-to-day business, we will close at 10.
Okay, so you're proposing to close at 8, but your application is for later licences to cover other particularly busy times of the year.
Yeah, particular busy time, and not only on Christmas or the end of the year. It will always be on Easter, for example. That's why we didn't want to apply. But
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from councillors at this stage?
I've got two. Just ask one. Can you tell me the history of the premises itself? The history of. Can you tell me the history of the premises themselves?
Ocean Road. also have nothing to say about the premises because I know nothing about that. The only thing I have is a lease with the owner who is the landlord of that unit, but I know nothing else about that. The only thing I know and what I have seen when we entered that, I've seen a destroyed unit. That's all.
Okay, so I think Councillor McGrath's question was what is currently there and what was there before. So just change the question slightly. Has it been empty since the bank was there? Is that correct?
Can I respond just to?
Yes, please. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself.
Okay, my name is Stephen Greensmith, and I'm the leaseholder for 204 Ashton Road. The bank closed in July 2022. The property has been empty since that period of time. In response to one of it wasn't destroyed. It is, as you probably know, a leaseholder's responsibility when they leave the premises to remove all of their things, whether that's heating, whether that's plumbing, whether that's furniture, and so on. So, of course, the property was a shell, but it was secure.
Yeah, so it's been stripped ultimately to return it to the state in which it was taken over when the bank was leased under. Okay, thank you. So we'll talk about the building in a little while. Just ask a couple more questions to the councillors if they have them, and then we'll ask objectives to address the community as well. Councillor Ashcroft, please.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to make clear, because in my head I had imagined that you were serving food in the shop as opposed to selling it, actually serving it for people to eat there. I got that impression, but you're not, are you? It's basically a supermarket and you'll be selling alcohol as part of what you do. It's not a place for people to come and eat. I was just trying to relate that to noise and so on and so forth.
So is there an element here of any part of this premises being a cafe?
No.
Okay, so it's purely shelves staffed with food, and if this application is successful, alcohol for taking away. Okay, there was some talk about, or there was in the papers, there was some suggestion of tasting within the shop. Is that still a part of your proposal?
Yes, because sometimes some customer want to test some but we make it clear on the meeting, and Peter and Michelle let me know that in case of testing, we do not need any kind of license.
Yeah.
That's why, and that was it was what we wanted to hear, and that was sufficient for us.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, that helps to clarify the position. So, it is purely to be not a cafe, just selling alcohol with people's shopping. So, do you have specialist? Do you propose to sell specialist brands of alcohol that people would wish to try before buying? Is that the purpose?
No. Our customer don't come for the alcohol. They don't come for that. Then we have really little people who want to test. But what we do, we sell food. This is our mindset, and we sell raw food. We don't cook anything. We're not a restaurant. We're not a cafe. We're not a discotheque. we just supermarket.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I will ask objectors now if they would like to address the committee, unless there are any questions relevant to what we've just had. Councillor Maguire.
No, I'll wait till the
Yes.
objectors speak.
Okay, yes, good idea. Let's hear from. Sorry, you are.
I'm Hilary Faunch, I'm a leaseholder in one of the flats above the ground floor premises that I'm talking about. And I'm also speaking on behalf of my tenant who actually lives there, who's a nurse in the intensive care unit at the Norwich Hospital. Noise is one of our main concerns. Over the past few months, the noise has been intolerable with the renovation. And I know you won't, I would like to say I do wish well in your business. I'm not trying to attack your business, I'm just trying to safeguard the interest of my tenants and myself in terms of noise principally. My tenant has not been able to sleep during the day at all because of the amount of noise. And last week, the doors were open and the electrician had been there possibly the week before. And I was chatting with somebody who was working there, and looking through the door, you could see that half of the building has got some old acoustic tiles on a false ceiling, which I've spoken to the builder, says gives a tiny bit of sound protection, which might be adequate if it was a bank or financial institution, but not if it was somewhere making more noise than that. My concern is that on the other half of the ground floor of the building, those acoustic tiles and false ceiling have been removed. I don't know at what point they were removed, but they were there when the bank was operational. And now they're not there, and there appears to be, I don't know if there's no protector or something, immediately on the concrete, which is the concrete floor of the flats above. But there's just no soundproofing whatsoever. And I did send through my email 2 photographs on showing some of the building which has got some acoustic tiles. And the other side, where there obviously are no acoustic tiles, and you can see possibly some protection. So I'm wondering, is there going to be soundproofing on that ceiling to separate the ground floor from the residential flats above?
Okay, so thank you for that. So just describe for anyone that will watch this later on YouTube. We've been presented with 2 photographs. One which shows the suspended ceiling with the acoustic tiles, and one where it actually looked to us like it was floorboards, but you say it's concrete.
Concrete tiles.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. It's but the builder says probably 4 inches thick.
4-inch concrete.
Not soundproofing.
Okay, so regarding the noise of the renovation, so that is, it's unfortunate, especially for your tenant. But again, it's not part of what we're considering here, because we would hope that would stop, and obviously the shop would open, and there would be a different level of noise. And in terms of the noise level, we have to consider whether the noise would be additional on top of it being a supermarket, because there's no license required for it to be a supermarket, but there is a license required for them to sell alcohol. So we have to consider whether there will be extra noise generated from it being an off-license, effectively. So we'll take that into consideration. But as you asked the question, we can ask the applicant if there are any plans to put in additional soundproofing between you and the floor above, please.
To answer, I would say that the renovation work are being completed under the guideline of CNC, building control. That means the building control said only one side, the side of the back, and that side could be completed with suspended ceiling. The other side, there is no need because on that side, the purpose of ceiling, suspended ceiling, is just for aesthetic. Nothing else, only for aesthetic. That's the building control guideline.
Okay, so again, building control is not part of the remit of the committee. That's a separate issue. The committee needs to consider whether you're having a licence in place will contribute to the noise that is experienced by residents above. So I'd like to ask you if you'd like to respond yourself. What experience did you have if you were there before the bank shut with noise?
There wasn't any. The bank is very interesting, as you know. So there was no noise transferring up through the floors.
Yeah.
I'd just like to respond to yourself. The building control may say the building is safe, and that's absolutely fine. But in terms of doing a sound study to see what level of noise will transmit through the floor, I don't know if you've had that done or not. Going back to Hugh's point, which is that the panels, although aesthetic, are also acoustic, because they take out vibration, they take out the sharper end of noise. So I'd go back again to Hillary's point about with the removal of the acoustic panels, it does increase the likelihood of noise transferring up through the ceiling. On your floor plans, you do indicate that you are having a cafe bar type area within your space. You said earlier that you're not having any type of cafe or bar on the premises. Is that right?
We don't have a cafe. We go to cafe. We need that business to a cafe center with supermarket.
Because the floor plans that we have seen.
Okay, so let's turn to the floor plan, which is on page 22 of the papers, and we can see an outlined area which includes the whole of the shop front, and so the whole of the ground floor of the shop, and a small basement area. So on this plan, so on page 22, do you have the papers with you? So on that plan, can you describe to us what each of the areas is used for now, what you propose to use those areas for, please?
My name is Rosie Gilbert. I'm Gilbert's wife. So this place we just use because compared to the Invesco shop, we have some drones. People can come. Sometimes we have some alphas, Zilfo, some kids from Africa. So some kid or some customer they come, they just want to try. So we put like 2 or 3 tables on this place and expose some Ludo, if you know the game called Ludo, Africa games. We put some Scrabble, some game, just some kid or some customer. We use this place, put 3 tables for them. So this for this place. Now you're not going to put alcohol and sell up, you're not going to bring anything, just to put the table and put some games for them. Some customer will come and they can sit and play. Can be Ludo or Scrabble, all those things for them. So you use this place for this place. And I want to ask just one question about what the man said a few minutes ago.
Please do.
About the noise, they are not, the ones I want to say to them, they say we are cash and carry. So I don't know why you need to do something special to cover the ceiling for the noise. People come to buy the stuff, after them they leave. They buy alcohol, they put in the trolley, they leave. They don't stay there to, if you go to Iceland, go to Lidl, people that do the shopping, they don't stay there and shouting, make a big noise. They just do the shopping, do the toilet, and they leave. So I don't understand why they want something special to cover the ceiling because of the noise. So this one, they need to ask the landlord. Maybe it's him to do something special. But for us, just to let you know what the Barclays left them, it costs us roughly 80,000 pounds just for this thing they leave.
Okay.
So
Again, it's not part of our remit to consider the costs involved. What our objective is to ensure that those licensing objectives are met by your license application. And when we finish this exercise, we'll have a full picture of what that application is, and we'll make decisions accordingly. So you described that. Sorry, I'll come to you in a moment. You described that the shop front will be there will be one table, two tables.
Just for the front, you have big space, so you can put up to 4 tables. So you put 3 or 4, depending how many, how the place is big, and you put, like what I said, a game for kids, because sometimes they come with the kids. So you want to do something special for them, they come, they can sit, when the parents are doing the shopping, they can play. It's something simple for the customer.
Okay. So will you be serving food to those customers, whether they're children or adults? Will you be serving food to
No,
those?
it's not serving, it's not cooking food. It's not food that are ready to eat.
Okay. Will anybody be able to eat or drink on the premises?
We don't have for the alcohol or for the food. We don't have a license to drink inside, so they cannot bring alcohol inside. So you are just selling alcohol, they buy and go. It's not wrong.
We as a committee, we need to have the full picture of your proposal. At the moment, you're describing an area that sounds a bit like a cafe.
No, it's not cafe.
But you're telling us it's not, so therefore, please could you be a bit clearer about what you're proposing there, so that it doesn't sound like a cafe.
No, it's not a cafe. You see, they can buy maybe, let's say, Fanta. If someone will buy Fanta, you want to sit. Sometimes when you see pregnant women, they come to the shop. They come to the shopping, so you say, oh, let us put some table, they can sit. And during they are waiting for the husband or the wife to on the shopping, they can sit and drink the Fanta, if they take Fanta, but not especially for the Fanta or for the drinking, no. We just put this for some customers, they can sit. Even old persons, sometimes they come to the shop, they want to sit. So you say, you can make one space for them, they can sit there. It's also advertised, people are working outside. To see that this shop, they can see what they're buying. Nothing, just is something, you just want to add it. Okay. But it's not that you are going to selling cafes, no cafeteria. You don't have any microwave there to put food in the oven, microwave or in the oven, no. Nothing.
Thank you for that. You clearly don't need an alcohol license to open a cafe that sells cans of Fanta. I'm just asking for the bigger picture of the wider offering. Okay, I'll return to objectives if you'd like to.
So my concern with that is that what you're describing is a cafe, but not a cafe. You're describing a place where somebody can buy your product, soft drinks or whatever, and they can sit at that table and have that drink. That's by definition a cafe.
Why not?
But in addition to that, it's concerning for me that in the letter that you had that said very clearly, and it was the explicitness of it that concerned me, is that it was amplified that you didn't need to have a license for tasting. And if you have an area which is a cafe but not a cafe, where somebody can buy soft drinks but not alcohol, that they can taste alcohol. and the inconsistencies within the application where you have identified no music, but then further on saying you'll keep music quiet, and the cafe, no cafe, there are too many consistencies, and therefore we need to feel assured that actually it is just a supermarket. You said that it's a cash and carry, so people come and buy and go, and then you're saying you're going to have a space for people to come and sit and chat and buy Fanta, and with your legal representation saying that you don't need a license for tasting, it's a great concern to me.
Okay, I did answer.
Okay, so would you like to address that, then I'll come back to you.
Should I answer?
Yes, please.
So, for the first thing, I want to let you know about the customer don't come in the shop to place alcohol. No. We sell maybe between 2 or 3, let's say 5% alcohol per month. Alcohol is not our specific thing. If you don't sell alcohol, this shop will run. You just put out because it make you, I don't know, if your alcohol will come, they can buy thing today or all this during this week, I didn't sell alcohol. My specific I'm selling the shop is food. So it's what he came with a policeman. You say we just ask him because sometimes customers that can come, they take Guinness, they start drinking. I said, no, you are not allowed to drink Guinness in the shop because you have off license. So when we say, okay, we are going to open in the action board, they say to protect ourselves, let us has off and in. So if on the license people they come one day and they see people are doing it like that, because you don't have table for alcohol. But if they enter, they see one customer doing alcohol, they can show that we have license to protect ourselves. That's why we ask. Because sometimes even if you tell the customer, don't take the drink. Before you turn, then you take. So to protect ourselves, that's why we ask in. But you don't need in. Because now they say they cannot give us in, they give us off. But we want to let customers know that you are not allowed to drink alcohol inside. But what the policeman says, he says it's for one bottle, something like that they are testing, don't need to ask him. So we are not selling alcohol to come to test. No, it's no. Second thing, when you go to Lidl, Asda, you can see table inside of the shop. They have seats. People can sit. Asda, you see seats instead of Asda. Let's go. They have a seat.
That's a specific food area, which is McDonald's. It's not shared with the supermarkets.
No, instead of Asda,
it's a very separate space, and there's no alcohol tasting.
No, I didn't say that the table is for alcohol testing. I said customer, like when you go to Sainsbury, NF5, you see seats inside. When you enter, you see some seats. When customer do shopping, his time can sit. You can have one bottle and drink. He sits. That doesn't mean that you're drinking alcohol inside of the house and Sainsbury.
Okay. So thank you for that. I think it's fair to say that supermarkets may or may not have a seating area where people can take a rest. And again, it's important to remember that from a licensing point of view, you don't need a license to have seating. You don't need an alcohol license to have a cafe. That's a planning matter and also a matter for the landlord. So it's really important in your objections to take that into account. What we need to consider is whether the addition of a license to the supermarket is going to create breaches of the licensing objectives, or that it won't meet the licensing objectives. So I believe Ms. Forge, you were the next if you'd like to ask your questions, please.
I am speaking actually on behalf of Sally Ives, who signed a form who couldn't come today.
Yeah.
Now she's a resident who lives maybe 4 or 5 houses down on Ocean Road. I think opposite, possibly round up where there is a small Tesco's which sells alcohol. One of her objections, and she has sent in that one of her objections, she's very concerned about crime and disorder. She says already there are constant disturbances and break-ins at the Tesco's, including Sunday before last, early hours of the morning when somebody broke in. Quite often there's shoplifting due to alcohol, breaking windows, and other crime associated with the sale of alcohol from Tesco's. And this disturbs her family, makes her unsafe. She's a woman probably in her early 60s, I'm not sure. And she feels there is already up the road, opposite the premises we're talking about, a big little that sells a lot of alcohol. There's the Tesco that sells alcohol. There's the Co-op just up the road that sells alcohol. There are lots of outlets to buy alcohol. And she feels that having another one with more potential for crime and disorder and break-ins, it's not going to improve her quality of life. It's going to certainly not improve the quality of life of the people who live in residential flats above the premises, given that the windows appear to be single glazed, and therefore think possible to smash, and it's very concerning.
Okay, thank you. Again, it's not for the committee. It seems like I'm dismissing many of your concerns, but again, it's not for the committee to decide whether there's a commercial reason for having another off licence.
I'm talking about crime and disorder.
Yeah, so yes, and also whether the addition of the additional shop would necessarily contribute to it. That's something that we will consider. That is a relevant point. So I will address the applicant to tell us how you will maintain security of the premises for yourselves as shopkeepers and licensees, but also for other customers and people in the area, please.
This objection come from your neighbor. I just want to ask something. Why do you think our shop is going to be the source of more public disorder? Do you know how many shops are selling alcohol from the beginning to the road, to the end? Do you know how many shops? And I just want to draw your attention that to the police. This is the police government, and the police didn't raise any objection. You can see in this document what the police advice. The police advice, and we have agreed to what the police advice. Nothing on the area. That means this area is safe. That means on this area we can.
And I'll stop you there. The fact that you don't have objections from the police based on your agreement to their conditions doesn't mean that the area doesn't have a problem. It just means that the police don't have an objection to your licence, and that's noted by the committee and should also be noted by objectors. So I asked if you would be able to describe to us how you will maintain security for yourself in the event that there are issues in the area. So we've had described here the possibility of perhaps people who have been drinking, possibly drunk. How you will deal with a public nuisance either in your shop or directly outside it.
The first thing, our customers don't drink. We sell alcohol for them to drink.
Okay, so the purpose of this question is to consider if any of your customers arrive at your shop we understand they won't be drinking in your shop. They may arrive at your shop having already been drinking. Perhaps they've been to somewhere else, and they're on their way, and they go to buy some more drink, and they arrive, and they are they're misbehaving, maybe drunk and disorderly. How would you deal with that situation as the licensing DPS?
Firstly, we don't sell alcohol if we suspect something. We do not sell alcohol, and we could contact the police as well. I think everything, all the movement in the shop will be recorded. Outside the shop, outside, we will put CCTV outside. Inside, CCTV, and on the car park, CCTV as well.
Okay, thank you. So, how many CCTV cameras do you have in and around the shop, please?
In the other shops,
In the small one, not here.
Can you just describe how many you propose to have at this premises that will be recorded?
20 minimum.
20.
Minimum.
Okay.
That's what the man told me, say for the big shop, we need minimum between 20.
Okay, so are you offering that to the committee as a condition that you have a minimum of 20 cameras? Okay. And they'll be operating at all times?
all time,
Yeah.
24.
Okay, thank you. So we can note that as an offer from the applicant. Okay. Any questions from councillors at this stage? Councillor Maguire?
Just one more question, if I heard correctly. Are you making those toilets available to the public?
Mm.
You're not, then I'm mistaken.
In small shops, so
Councillor Ackroyd, please.
Thank you. It was just a question about music, really, because on page 15, under the prevention of public nuisance, you say preventing noise and vibration escaping from the premises, including music. Is that basically background music, the sort of music that you would have in the supermarket? You then say, when you leave, ensure your staff leave the premises quietly, please turn up, close the doors quickly, and so quietly. So we're talking, the music we're talking about is
what you can hear in the supermarket, you have something like
It's a background.
Okay, so again, it should be noted that premises don't need a licence for music in this as described. Okay, thank you. Either of the speakers, would you like to address more questions to the committee or to the applicant? Yeah, please do.
On the land registry, it makes clear in 2 or 3 places that this building is not allowed to manufacture nor sell alcohol. And I'm just wondering why then an alcohol licence to sell alcohol would even be considered.
Okay, because again, it's not a licensing matter. It's a matter for the planning department. So if you have further objections, you could contact planning about that. If the license is, or if any form of license is granted, then you can contact planning. Planning may tell you actually that the covenant it relates as a civil matter and may be down to the freeholder rather than the leaseholders. So again, it's not something that we can control. Can you add to that at all?
Yes, matter of covenant, it's up to. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. So if a covenant, restrictive covenant, is breached, it is up to the person with the benefit of the covenant to take redress against whoever is breaching it. So that's not a licensing matter.
So just to expand on that, I think it might be something that you could do if you wished to, as people with an interest as Florence describes in that covenant. But I think the main beneficiaries of the covenant are the freeholder. So I think would it be up to the freeholder?
Yes, and also each lease, anybody that takes lease under the freehold, usually the covenant, the same covenant applies. It goes on and on. So the leaseholder would, seek redress against his landlord, and then that person will seek redress going to they get to the head landlord. And sometimes it may be a matter of whoever is breaching it to indemnify whoever is suffering the breach. So that's how it works.
Okay. So,
Property law.
So just to cover that off. Apologies, my mic really isn't working very well. It's gone off again. Thank you. Right. So the committee is not qualified to offer legal advice on covenants. So just to be sure that we're not offering legal advice here, we're just suggesting that it's something that you may wish to have a look at elsewhere. It's entirely up to you and not part of this committee process. So again, for the purposes of our decision making, the covenant is not something that we can consider, and that is why it's come to committee in the first place. Because if it was if a committee could make a decision based on covenant, then it wouldn't come to this committee. So it's outside of our remit. Okay. Any more questions for the applicant or for the committee or our legal advisor, please? Would you like to address some of the other concerns that you had based on the licensing objectives? So noise we have covered, and I assume from your reactions that you're not convinced that there will be sufficient noise mitigation from the current situation. And I'll ask the applicant to come back on that again at the end. Public nuisance, we've covered that. There are, in the objections, there is some conjecture about the possibility of nuisance. The applicant has described how they will react to any such problems. I'll come to you in a moment. So the other elements are the prevention of crime and disorder, and also the protection of children from harm. So is there any objections that you have in the submissions? Please think about those. Yeah, please. Henry Forge.
I just would like to come back on the issue of parking, which you say is not in this committee. However, I do think it could lead to public disorder and indeed crime if there is not sufficient restrictions to where the customers are parking their cars, as 4 residential flats also have the right to park their cars, and quite often we find you're blocked in, and that's because the market is opened, or other people have taken our spaces, and this could lead to altercations of people not being able to get their cars out, not being able to park their cars when they have the right to park their car. And while it might not be specifically within the limit of an alcohol licence, I do think there's more customers coming because of the sale of alcohol. It's going to exacerbate the problem of parking, which could lead to crime disorder and altercations between members of the public and customers. We'd like to know how the CPC would mitigate these problems in terms of parking.
Okay. So I think the committee, because clearly you'd like us to consider this. The committee has to consider whether this is an issue for us. The current parking situation, do you have your own dedicated parking spaces?
Well, in lease we do indeed have an exclusive guaranteed right to a parking space. The freeholder has indicated that you would have to get permission from the new commercial tenants downstairs in terms of possibly moving the car parking spaces to where they're shown on the land registry, and our solicitor that we have to agrees. But the freeholder is saying that needs the permission of the ground floor tenants. And obviously, we also would like proper signage to show those are exclusive parking spaces and potentially parking lots so people can't park there.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just turn to the applicant. As we've heard, the parking issue is not necessarily a licensing matter, but you also said that you want to be good neighbours to the people that live above the shop. Is that something that you could consider offering to your neighbours, dedicated parking spaces, perhaps away from the shop front, where people are less likely to want to park? So people that come to the shop probably want to park closest to the shop.
You have dedicated space with your number, with your flat number, and we have our private car park. The first thing we do, we indicate, we put some sign to indicate to our customer where our car park is. This is the first thing. The second thing is, we're not a robot, we are human. Someone can block you. Even the shop is not there. Someone can block you in. If this happens, we can call our customer to remove the car. That can happen. Where I live, someone blocked me. Where I live, someone blocked me in. Then we will call the customer to remove the car.
Okay, so are you offering to the residents what they're asked for, which is to have dedicated parking outside, perhaps actual spaces that are marked for residents and marked as such, and not for customers? Is that what you're offering?
Say that please, I didn't catch it.
Okay, so I think Hilary Forge was requesting that, correct me if I'm wrong, you'd like to have dedicated parking spaces rather than guaranteed to have space. Is that correct? Do you have marked spaces now?
Well, they are not marked sufficiently. So, for example, one of the residents some years back got some very small bits of white plastic and stuck on in black numbers a homemade sign that says 290. Now, this doesn't deter anybody from parking in that space. And we have requested to the freeholder that we have a proper sign saying private parking, 290, access required, 24 hours. And potentially, if that does not work, also to have a local bollard that the residents can use. So people can't park in those spaces, which is guaranteed in our lease. But the problem is the freeholder is saying, oh no, well, it's really up to downstairs in commercial tenants, which is not what it says in the lease.
Okay. As with a number of these things we talked about, it's not going to be for us to make a determination here. We can't, for example, put a condition on the applicant to make that happen. I invited the applicant to work with you on that, and the applicant indicated a willingness to work with you. So we'll have to leave it at that point, I think. And hopefully you'll be able to work something out. It's in any applicant's interest if they grant a licence to be neighbouring and to work with the local people. Are there any other questions from objectors? Please do.
Okay, it's just clearing up ambiguity. And this is where my concern came from in the first place, is that there are some things on your licence application. For example, you said no music, and then further on in your application you said that you will keep music down. So are you going to have music on the premises or not?
Yes, we play music. Like, it's not something like you're gonna hear outside the shop. Is slow. In the background music, you need to put music box. Yes, it's part of main shop. Where you go in different category, you hear the background music. So you're gonna play music. I cannot say that you're gonna play music. You're gonna play music. A background very slowly. If you have some information, sometimes you let customer know inside. During the music, stop music, let them know our customer, like what you are telling about the car park. If someone stop his car, you park on your place, you stop this music, let them know that, please move your car, this number, move your car. So you're going to play music, but it's not a background. What I want to let you know is you're going to play music.
So, and bringing it back to my original concern is that if you do have music there, then there is an issue around soundproofing. One of your comments on your license application is that you will keep the windows closed and doors closed and so on when you have music playing. The only difficulty with that is that there is no form of ventilation within the building. So therefore you probably need to open the doors to ventilate the building. But also that the glass around the building is single glazed, not double glazed. And if you've taken out the acoustic panels from the ceiling, that means that the noise transmission is more highly likely than not.
It's what I'm saying, that the music is background. Like that means it's not something like we're not gonna, I don't know how to say to you, it's very background. That means the door, you have two doors. So first door and the second one. The second one is always closed. Whereas one customer is going in, then the door is automatically open. So you cannot hear the music outside the door because you have two doors. And it's not something that I don't know, you're going to put, I don't know. If you go to different shops, you see, maybe you hear the music, it's not something can.
It's the transmissibility through the ceiling that's the most concerned, right? But moving on. The next point is still, and I apologise for coming back to this, and it sounds like I'm droning on, and I apologise, but the seating for customers, and I understand that chemists have it, other shops have it. What you have described is something somewhere in between a community centre and a cafe environment. You're talking about putting in roundabouts for tables. You've mentioned putting games out for children. Now, if you're having that environment where they can then purchase a drink, Fanta or whatever, and possibly some pre-made cooked products, and then with that backdrop of that notification that says that you don't need to have a license for tasting, and I note the point that you made about very, very rarely will this happen, but it leaves it, for me, a very concerning and very ambiguous environment in which I am not comfortable feeling confident that the alcohol will be managed in a way that's appropriate to the standard of the licence.
Okay, thank you. Just before you respond to that, firstly, there's no need to apologise. I think what we're here to establish is all the processes, and you'll have an opportunity to make sure you're either convinced one way or another about how that's going to work. Excuse me. In this case, there is some ambiguity about the arrangements with the tables and chairs and how they will work, and also the tasting. Again, the committee has to consider that in all those circumstances, there's not a shop that even one that doesn't sell alcohol can still provide alcohol without a license, as long as it's not for sale. So it's difficult for the committee to take what we're hearing, ambiguous or not, and make a decision based on that. What we have to make our decision on is based on whether the addition of an alcohol license to sell off sales creates a situation where licensing objectives won't be reached. So that's the decision that we have to make. And at the moment, there is some ambiguity about how the shop is going to be arranged, and also some of the there is a concern about music, because obviously you don't need a license for the music that's been described. However, there is potential perhaps for some ingress if that sound into the building, but it's something that we will consider. I think we need to have a look at the moment, and you have to have an opportunity to ask questions if they come up shortly, and the applicant can respond as well. But the licensing objectives, this is page 15. There are a number of things in there that may or may not be entirely enforceable. So just for members of the public and anyone watching, everything that's offered to us as part of an application has to either be legally enforceable. So I would like us to run through that and make sure that the items that are listed are worded so that they're properly enforceable. So effective and responsible management of premises is a general term. Florence, is that something that's acceptable as a
that's just general statements. That's just a general statement.
Yes. So as a condition, really, it's probably not.
No.
Quite. So do you wish to remove that or have it stay there?
It's just a statement of intent, really, the way I say it.
It is, but it's not enforceable.
It's not a condition. It's not.
Training and supervision of staff. Have a think about that. Training and supervision of staff. Can you describe how often you'll be training your staff and what kind of training you're beginning with, please?
Selling alcohol, all our staff is trained, and we train them 3 times a year. And we have 2 types of training. The first type is under 18 challenge. First training, second training, 25 challenge. And all our staff are trained on those two.
Okay, so the police have asked that you use challenge 25 policy. So with the training and supervision of staff, are you saying to the committee that your training and supervision of staff will be 3 times a year, and it will be training in the use of the challenge 25 policy?
Yes, 3 times a year, and all the new staff, are trained as well, and then we repeat it 2-3 times a year.
Okay. Adoption of best practice guidance. Can you describe what that is, please, and provide some some detail. Number 3, we're on page 15. These are the, this is the part of your application, this is the wording that you provided to the committee that you are legally obliged to abide by. So my concern is that some of these items are not enforceable. So therefore, we need to either have some additional wording so that they are enforceable and have a meaning, or you may wish to remove them, and we'll consider the application accordingly. Page
What
15.
best practice guidance anyway are you referring to?
The best part is, first of all, we record all the refusal. We record all the incidents of sale of alcohol.
Yeah, that's not specific guidance, so I don't think that can be a condition.
Okay.
And we ask to get an ID if we suspect that the customer is not 18.
Okay, we have from the police, they've asked you to use Channel 25 policy, which means you need to challenge them if you believe that they're not 25.
Challenge 18.
Okay, so let's just go to the challenge. So you've agreed to the police requirements, which is one of the items there is Challenge 25 policy to be in operation. Can you confirm that you agree to that, please?
We agree.
Okay, so can you describe to the committee what it means to implement the Challenge 25 policy?
Okay, the Challenge 25 policy, we are asked to get an ID to any customer when we judge that the customer is not over 25. And if you have an incident, we record all the incident. If in case of refusal, same thing, we record the refusal.
Okay, thank you. Right, so Challenge 25 policy in place. Okay, going back to page 15, licensing objectives, and this is the general ones that you've submitted, items number 1 to 4. We've put a bit of detail around training and supervision, and Florence will have recorded that. Yeah, please do.
I'm nitpicking here slightly on the training and supervision of staff, because you will be training staff 3 times a year, but that would also include any new members of staff would immediately be trained, so that wouldn't wait for the sort of set 3 times a year, as it were. It would include adequate training of new staff, because I think that's important as well.
Yeah, I think I heard the applicant say.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Sorry,
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. There are a number of items here, and this is quite laborious to go through everything here, but it's recommended that the conditions that are offered are enforceable, and adoption of best practice guidance is not an enforceable condition on the operating schedule. So do you wish to reword that, remove it, or do something else with it? Okay.
It's not a condition. You don't want it a condition.
It's not something that you'd want to have on your license because it's.
Any negative impact on our business.
So do you wish to remove that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Provision of monitoring of CCTV. This has been replaced by the condition that the police have requested. So training and supervision staff, we've got some additional wording for that.
Regarding the CCTV, you said that it will be provided at the request of the police or the licensing authority. How long will it take you to provide that? Is it immediately, within 3 days, within a week, or?
We can provide it on request immediately. We keep them 28 days on non-stop recovery.
Okay.
That's the maximum capacity we can have.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so prevention of crime and disorder. Sorry, apologies. We'll just go back to effective and responsible management of premises. Again, that's not an enforceable condition. Would you like to remove that and have that covered by the rest of the conditions that you have offered? Okay, so you'd like that to be removed from this application. Thank you. So that a minimum is noted.
Where is that? What's
the first one here to remove that. Okay. The text here is very small. So CCTV footage is the first of those under prevention of crime and disorder. That is covered. Staff will be trained.
Yeah, it's covered as well.
That is covered. We also heard from the applicant that there'll be a minimum of 20 cameras across the premises, inside and out. So that is something that you've offered to go into your schedule. Thank you. And recordings, that is covered. So I think the police are satisfied with that, and therefore we don't necessarily need any further wording. Public safety. Our aim is to ensure that noise and disturbance from our premises is minimised to protect nearby residents. We do not offer any entertainment. We just sell some wine during business hours. Okay. So as a condition, that would restrict you to selling wine only on your premises. Is that what you wish to do?
No. We said wine means alcohol.
Okay. Do you wish to change that from wine to alcohol?
Alcohol.
Okay. Do you wish to change anything else about that?
It would be beer, wine, yes.
Okay, so alcohol covers that. Do you wish to change anything else about that sentence, about that condition? Okay. Preventing noise and vibration escaping from the premises, including music and human voices. We've heard that you keep doors shut. How else will you prevent that from escaping from the premises?
The first door is closed, but the second door, because when they come, they have the first door. They just push the door. It's always closed. And the first door is open, the brown one, and the second side is closed. This one is the one back is left. You cannot hear anything outside because it's double door. So when they come, it's electric door, automatically the door will be open. But the first one is open and the second one is closed. So from 8 to 8, it will be like that. And when you close out the two doors. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ensuring staff leave the premises quietly. This includes turning off music, closing doors quietly, turning off lights and leaving without making noises. Okay, that's, is that going to be part of your staff training? Okay, so again, that's been offered as part of the training process. Thank you. Okay, so protection of children from harm, establishing, implementing and following good safeguarding policies and procedures, including safe recruitment, ensuring all staff are aware of and follow the organisation's safeguarding policies and procedures. Again, is that part of your training programme? Okay, thank you. And the ID we've covered elsewhere. Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add to your schedule? Bearing in mind especially the concerns that objectors have about noise escaping into the rooms above, the flats above.
We just like to our customer, just let sometime we need to speak to people. So be quiet, there are some people upstairs, just to, yes, yeah, like what you say, you're human, even we take them, it's difficult to, yes, but we let them know, be quiet, we have apartment upstairs, so
Some applicants offer to have signage up in their premises that describes that it's a residential area and ask customers to be quiet as they leave. Is that something that you would be prepared to offer to the committee as a condition?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So
it's entirely up to you. This is your application that we're considering. I'm not trying to make conditions for you. It's making suggestions that might help your application.
We used to do in Annual Square to tell them, be careful, not touch it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we continue to do the same thing.
So what was that?
Use of signage to inform customers. It's a residential area, and that can be the wording of the signage to be decided and agreed by licensing. Is that something that you'd be prepared to?
Even we write something, we stick on the wall, let them know.
Okay, thank you. So again, just for the benefit of members of the public, this is not me or the committee writing a predetermined application. We're just formulating the whole application before we decide it. Are there any questions from members?
Just one back on page 50. You've taken out effective and responsible management of premises, which we've said is unenforceable. That's not to say that we don't expect you to be ineffective. We don't expect you to be irresponsible. So just to clarify, I'm not taking it out. It's impossible to enforce. Not required that we can do.
Well, the hope, and this is something that we'll consider, the hope is that that statement is covered by all the other conditions within the operation schedule. Okay, so are there any further questions that you'd like to put to the applicant or ask the committee, or would you like to address the committee with a conclusion at this stage?
Yes, sorry. Sort of going back to section 18, number 2, training and supervision of staff. And you said that you're going to the Challenge 25 training. Along with that Challenge 25 training comes several criteria, because it's not just asking somebody if they're 25 or not. So can you let me know what criteria you cover when you do that training? I assume since you have your shop in Yarmouth that you already have training records and you'd be quite aware of what needs to be covered. Could you tell me about that?
don't know what you want me to say, to be honest, because what we do, we ask to get before we sell. If we suspect that the person, the customer is not qualified, we record. If we refuse to sell, if there is an incident, we record that incident as well.
Okay, so Challenge 25 training goes on beyond that. It goes on about how the criteria is not just saying asking somebody they're 25 and refusing to sell it if they appear to be under or can't prove that they're over 25. It also includes things like managing refusal. It's also about de-escalation so that a fight doesn't break out in the shop, for example. These things are part of the criteria for Challenge 25. And if you already have a license at another place, I would have thought that's something that you would have been quite confident in discussing and having records to show that that training does take place.
Okay, thank you for that question. From the committee's point of view, can you tell us how often in your other two shops, how often you may have to issue a Challenge 25, and how many recorded incidents of people not being able to provide the correct ID, perhaps in a year or in a month? Just give us an idea of how often it happens.
So as what I said before, we don't sell alcohol all the time. So you don't have from this shop and let's go. We don't 2 years or 3 years now, no incident with any customer. So I don't know because alcohol is not the first thing they come to buy. So you see, maybe if you have 200 customer or 100, maybe 2 or 3 customers you take Star Guinness. And when they take, they just put in the basket and go. So you don't have any incidents that it happened in the shop, no. Since we opened this shop, you don't have incidents.
Okay, so you told us that there were no incidents, and that's good to hear. And of course, if there were incidents, the police would have told us about those or licensing. So can you describe how many challenges you make to customers? Is it a daily basis, several times a day, weekly? What do your records show in terms of the numbers of challenges that you make?
That is, in our shop, we have like 99% adults. In our shops, we don't have young person that work in our shop to buy anything, even food.
Okay, yeah, you're describing customers rather than answering the question, which was how many challenges you issue.
Okay. How many challenges? As you said, we don't sell alcohol. It's not our first sale. And we can get...
how many challenges have you made in your shop in the last month or in the month of February, please?
We didn't get any challenge.
No challenge, so you've not challenged anybody on alcohol. Okay, what about January this year?
No. Because it's not the main thing they come to buy, so we don't have any incidents about alcohol. So we keep that to our staff. Anytime you see someone come to buy alcohol, that is like you see that is young, just ask them, because if you go in the shop, you see that we have a different thing on the wall to let customers know that you don't sell alcohol under 25. So you put everywhere. So you don't have any incident, but you keep that to our staff. Be careful. Because even when we opened, the first year we opened, some students came, there were 3. They started saying, madam, my dad sent me to buy alcohol. I said, how old are you? I come from college. But I used to buy alcohol for my dad, so I'm here to buy by myself. My dad sent me to buy. I said, go and call your dad. You need to come with you and show us that he's buying for himself, not for you. So all the time we are keeping tabs on our staff. Be careful. You can see someone you come, you look young, but you look old, but it's not old. So because we are keeping tabs on our staff. They see reduced to our staff because customers they are very clever, even their kids. And we don't have something like every month we have any incident. 95% of our food, they come to buy food, no alcohol.
Okay. So, where the incident that you described, where you refused to serve alcohol to the person that had arrived to buy it for their father, when was that incident?
Oh, when we opened it, like the 3 weeks, when we opened like 2 years, 3 years ago.
Okay.
So this happened.
And it is, and how many incidents have you like that or similar have you had since then?
This will happen for them because we're new in the area. So they try to test us to see if you are going to sell them alcohol because sellers our neighbor they sell alcohol. So they don't go there to do that. So they saw that we are new. So they came to test if we are going to sell to them. So when they came and I refused. So I think for them, but they didn't come after. But I saw them the last afternoon. I saw the security guards, because there are security guards in the shopping center. Came because they come, they sit on the seat outside the shop. So the security guards came and asked them to move. They don't want to see them anymore after school in the area. So I think these kids, they came to test ours to see if they can sell alcohol to them. Okay. Because they have savers, they don't go there to have alcohol.
Okay, so you were describing an incident from a few years ago.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying. I've asked a number of questions, and the committee is still getting really quite woolly answers, and I'm finding it quite frustrating. I have to say that we're still not getting full and answers to the questions that we're asking. So, in the last year, in your shop in Norwich, how many times have you challenged customers? How many recorded challenges have you got for the customers that were over 20, that didn't look over 25, and how many of those were refused alcohol?
Like what I said, it's the first week when we start, the second week when we start, we opened the shop 2 years ago. After that, we didn't receive any incident about alcohol selling, nothing.
Okay, so apart from that incident, you've not had anyone come to your shop that's under 25, or that's under 25, nobody under 25 comes to your shop to buy alcohol?
No, because it's what I said, they don't buy alcohol all the time. So it's an adult. Normally, what people, our customer is more adult. They come to do the shopping. So you see adult put like 35 or 50 years, he puts Star Guinness in his basket. So you don't need to ask him. It's already sold. His head, yes. So for this kind of, you know that it's adult. You don't ask ID for them.
Yeah, you don't ask ID if they look.
You can feel that is
if they look over 25.
Exactly. So you ask them automatically. Is it for you this alcohol you are buying or not? You tell you, but we don't sell. They don't come. Kids don't come to buy alcohol in the shop.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's noted by the committee. Hilary Forge, again, please.
I'd like to ask a bit more detail about how you would deal with drunken behaviour if people are coming to buy alcohol from your off-licence who are already inebriated, and they then start causing a fuss if you say you're not selling alcohol, because I believe you said you wouldn't sell alcohol if they were already inebriated. Yeah. And what I'm worried about is the noise and disturbance and possible crime disorder that might happen if you said to them that you were not going to sell them any more alcohol because they obviously were already drunk. And if they then started objecting to that and making a fuss of noise, kicking off, what would you then do so that that does not cause a disturbance to the 4 residential flats above your premises and does not cause any crime disorder actually on the street?
The first thing, you cannot, if someone wants to do something like that, you cannot call them ourselves. You have the police number. When you call them, they come between less than 5 minutes, they'll be there. So you cannot, That this person can have maybe life is wrong. You cannot try to marry this person. So the first thing you're going to do, you tell him that you cannot, how they are seeing you now, you have already doing alcohol, you cannot say to you. But he's refused. So, yeah, I just take my phone, I call the police. I can't manage this for myself, it's not possible. So I call the police first thing. And you still waiting for them that try to do the trouble until the police will come. I can't do nothing else. I have my camera, we record everything, and when the police want to come, they do it, okay, go film.
Okay, thank you. So, for consistency, can I just ask how many incidents like that you may experience in a period of a year?
No. Even young move or Norwich, no.
So none. So in all cases, you keep records, but there are no records to keep because it's not happening. Okay, thank you.
Could I just make another point that that might not happen at a different location. However, the residential flats over the years have noticed discarded cans of beer along there's some concrete steps that go outside the building which access the four front doors of the four main acts above. And there used to be discarded cans of beer and obvious signs of people who may have bought alcohol and not licensed nearby, sitting on the concrete steps where they drunk the alcohol. So it may not have happened elsewhere, but this area in NR3 has got a history of problems with homeless people, unfortunately, including sleeping bags that used to be found in a hedge in the churchyard next door to the building. And therefore, it may be a very different matter to other shops that you have had in the past. And it was concerning to me that there may be bottles or cans that have been bought in your shop which are consumed just outside on the people sitting on the steps or under the concrete steps, which makes it unsalubrious and public disorder and potentially crime disorder.
Can I just ask one question?
Please do. Yeah.
You have said that you've not had incidents of people coming in, young persons coming into try and buy alcohol, or even disorderly, or people that are inebriated and all that. Is the food you sell, is it ethnic food?
Yes, Afro-Caribbean food, but afterwards you're going to do Portuguese, Italian. So you're going to eat more different like Anglo-Square. We do more white people, and we do half white, half Afro. It's like that now. So you receive more different culture than Anglo-Square. Anglo-Square, 90% of our customers are black, but Ashland 50-50. Because you do Brazilian, Latino people, all Latino people, they are going to do their food. And the half part is Afro-Caribbean. So yeah, you're going to be different. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. I think because we've been talking for a couple of hours, I think probably we need to wrap up soon. And so I'm going to ask if there's any questions from councillors at this stage.
No, Chair, I've had a good hearing.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I hope that members of the public and the applicant considers that we've had a fair and thorough hearing. So I'd like to just offer the applicant a brief opportunity to address the committee one more time, but also to ask if there are any further questions from the objectors, and also to give you an opportunity before we hear from the applicant to summarise what you've heard, whether you feel differently about your objection, whether you have received any assurances about some of the objections that you've made, and if not, why, please?
I don't feel confident with the application, and I don't feel confident the application is still there. In some ways, going through the licensing objectives has kind of reinforced that. I feel that items 1, 2, 3 and 4 could have been confidently presented because you would have been able to present schedules, you've been able to present training logs, have a better understanding of what that training involves. And from what you've presented suggests to me, and what you said in your reaction, for example, challenge 25, if you had to turn somebody down and they became aggressive, or if they were drunk and you refused to serve them and you said you'd call the police, concerns me more with yourselves in terms of your own protection as much as the environment around the shop. I haven't heard anything that says that you would competently hold a license and understand the gravity and the responsibility that goes with holding that license in terms of how it's managed. So that's what I stand.
Okay, Hilary, would you like to add anything?
I'm still very concerned about the noise and potentially parking, which I think will be exacerbated. Those things will be exacerbated and impact negatively on the residential flats above the premises. If those alcohol licenses, I think will make things worse. There'll be more customers, obviously hungry customers, coming just for the alcohol, not to buy the lovely food that you might be presenting, which is great to have in Norwich, but who are coming specifically to buy alcohol and don't want that noise and disturbance underneath the flats.
Okay, thank you. I think we've heard from the applicant that there is lots of applicants describe their customer base, and I think we've heard from the applicant that they have a particular customer base, perhaps with different cultural approaches and attitudes to alcohol. I think that's what you were telling us, and we'll take that into consideration. One point that you made about discarded containers outside. It may be in your interest to offer to the committee a condition that you will keep the outside area tidy within a small radius. Is that something, especially the car park, and is that something that you're offering as part of your operating schedule? Okay, so how far away from the building would you plan to go to ensure that this was kept clear, and how often?
For the car park is cleaned every day by the staff. And waste management will come several times in a week to collect the bins.
Yeah, okay. What about discarded containers, whether it be alcohol containers or food or other containers that are immediately outside your premises, perhaps along the shop front, on the pathway there, or on the steps that lead up to the flats? Is that something that you'd be prepared to monitor and keep clear? Okay, so again, are you offering that as a condition? You will monitor the immediate area outside.
Just to understand, you are promising a litter picking operation or service. So you'll be picking litters around the premises, the stairs, just to make sure that discarded containers and all that are not lying around there, right?
Yeah, no, from our shop, yes. But it's from another place, we are not allowed to
Just
because people can buy something from Lidl, is not far. Yes, it's not our job to collect Lidl thing, but if you from our shop, everything that you put concern our shop, exactly, we are going to clean, we're going to do what we should do.
What happens if somebody buys whatever from wherever and they comes around there and drinks and drops.
I clean
Would you, yeah, because when you go around picking the litter and if you see something from some other shop, you won't pick it up or what?
I will take it automatically. I will clean, no problem. What I want to say, I said they should not blind me. They see something from another shop, front of my shop. But if I see every morning when they come, they will clean all the area, the streets. It's like that in Africa. When you are cleaning your place, don't clean only your place. You clean your neighbor place. So you clean all this place morning and when you leave the shop, you do it automatically. It's like that. It's our culture to clean. Even your neighbor place, we do it. So for that, we don't have any problem for that.
Okay, thank you. Does that provide some reassurance on that matter?
Yeah. So you made clarification on the point that you clarified, which was, and you said that you have a particular culture customer base, but you also said that you are going into the store with a wider international range of foods because you're looking to expand your customer base across multiple cultures, and you use the expression black and white. I love international foods, but it was just to clarify that when you mentioned it, you identified it as like a single culture.
Okay, yes, so we shouldn't specify that the customer base will be one particular group or another. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so I think we've established most of the facts now, and if there's anything that we've missed, now is the time to bring it up, and I'll just give you one last opportunity. I'm not seeing any indication, so if you would like to address the committee one more time, very briefly, please, and then we'll make our determination.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for this hearing, and I want to say a word to my neighbor. We came here in Prince and clarified some area. Then you are really welcome to walk to our shop. We will be together for a long period of time. That means we want this period to be comfortable to everyone. We're not here to waste your comfort. Then we will try our best to keep you comfortable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So further to that, do you have you supplied, or will you be able to supply a phone number for residents to contact you if they have issues surrounding the shop, either with parking or noise or any issues relating to the proximity?
Yes, they can get our number, and our number will be displayed as well outside. You can get it from Google, and you can get them.
Will they be able to contact that number and speak to somebody during
you can give them our private number if they want to get it.
Okay, are you offering that as a condition?
Not a condition, but I can give them my personal number in case of anything.
Email address again. Email address. What's necessary? Our phone. Well, we have the shop phone. They can call us.
Yeah.
Or send us email. We also no.
And as the DPS, how often will you be there managing the shop, or have someone in place acting under your instructions? Will you be there most of the time, or because you've got several shops? It's maybe of interest to the residents to know how long you're there for and whether they can get in touch with you.
We are physically in the shop every day to manage all the shops. We have to be there. At what we do, we work. My wife works 7 days in the shop. I do the same as well. Then we are physically in the shop every day.
Okay. Thank you. So thank you again to everybody for attending and for taking part. The committee now has to discuss this, and we'll make a decision. I suspect that we may need a little while to talk it through. It's late in the day, officers will hope to be going home soon. So what I'm going to suggest is that we make our determination and record that determination, but I won't ask you to stay unless you want to. We'll publish that later. Does that work for you, Leonie? Because we may take 20 minutes, we may take half an hour, but it could be an hour, depending on how each of us feels about the application. So it is likely that the results of this will be announced tomorrow. Okay, is that okay? Does everybody agree with that? Is that satisfactory? Then it will give us sufficient time to have a full discussion about it, rather than feel rushed into making a decision that may not be exactly right. Okay, so thank you again for coming. That closes this meeting for now, and we'll reopen it for the determination in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks very much again. I'll get on mine. Okay, thank you, and welcome back to Norwich City Council's licensing subcommittee. It's Wednesday, the 20th of March, and we have the determination for the application for grant of a premises licence for food by CBC on Aylsham Road. Okay, the objectors and the applicant are not with us, but the verdict of the committee is to grant the licence as requested, with the conditions that were offered by the applicant through the committee, and the committee has added one further condition relating to noise, where we will ask the environmental protection officers to work with the applicant to ensure that noise is limited, and that it doesn't adversely affect those in the properties above. So that will be the condition that will be added. Following this meeting, Florence Clement-Harry, who is our legal advisor, will write to the applicants and the objectors with the verdict, and there will be a period of 21 days after which an appeal can be lodged by any of the objectors or the applicant. Does that cover everything?
Yes. Any aggrieved party can appeal, have a right to appeal within 21 days.
Yes, either party has the option to appeal. Okay, so thank you to everyone for coming. Thanks to the committee members and to Florence. That's the end of the meeting.